Did you think your parenting days were winding down? That this was your moment to lay on the beach, travel, read a book, and then bam, you're back to sitting in carpools, writing permission slips, and packing lunches. Move it, Art. Not because you planned it or wanted to start over, but because your kids, your own kids, are in trouble. And as a result, your grandkids are in trouble and they need a stable place to live. Today, we're going to go over the emotional roller coaster, financial, and legal problems to raising your grandchildren. And we're going to talk about how you can survive without losing your mind. Hi, man. Y'all ready to chat? If you're one of 2.3 million grandparents raising grandchildren, God bless you. You're not only a parent again, but you're a parent with a lot of miles on your tires. And you have all these new responsibilities now with less energy than you did the first time around. Let's talk about it. There's the possibility of emotional whiplash when you're raising Having grandchildren come live with you is a very jarring shift in mentality. I know about that. My husband and I had to raise our grandson. Now, my stepson was with us at the time too, but it didn't matter. We had all the emotional turmoil that any other grandparent that is going through this has. Let's face it, 20 or 30 years ago, when you were going through this, you had a lot more energy and a lot less aches and pains. And you might be at this point caring for your own parents too. It's not just your schedule that changes, it's your identity that changes as well. You're no longer the fun grandpa and grandma, or in our case, Papa and Nana, that the grandchildren went and visited. Now you have to lay down the law, and that's a pretty big transition. But the toughest part most of the time is not the grandchildren, it's the complicated feelings you have towards your own grandson or daughter. There can be a lot of guilt, blame, and heartache to doing this. In our case, it was our daughter-in-law who took off. So it wasn't as emotional for me, but some grandparents feel a sense of guilt, thinking, what did I do wrong that my child is not a good parent? And they start blaming themselves for it. But here's what's important to remember. You didn't cause your child's struggles. People struggle over different things. Sometimes it's drugs, mental health, toxic relationships. These are things that have nothing to do with you, because all of these issues are capable of happening in even the most stable and loving family. But besides the guilt that some people feel, there's anger sometimes at being thrust in this position again and having your life derailed. So you're angry and you're heartbroken that your son or daughter has failed at parenthood. At least that's how you perceive it. And you have to deal with this grandchild who's confused and upset and sad and doesn't understand what's going on. There's a lot on your plate at this point. The truth is, you can love your child and grandchild fiercely, but still feel betrayed by everything that's happening to you. It's okay. The emotional weight doesn't stop there, because now you're parenting in two directions. Sometimes if you have an aged parent who you kind of have to parent as well. Raising the grandchildren isn't just about the kids. It's about managing your relationship with your own children. You're trying to help your own child get back on track. This is when a push and pull happens. Do you allow visits if your child is in a bad place? How do you explain to the grandchild why mommy and daddy aren't visiting or can't visit? And while you're setting rules and schedules for your grandchildren, you have to kind of walk a tightrope. It's a balancing act. You want to support, but you don't want to enable. You want to protect your grandchildren, but you don't want to alienate your own child. At some point, you have to accept you can't fix it all. You can't fix your own child and your grandchildren. That's for a therapist, counselor, psychiatrist, psychologist to handle. That's not something you can do. And that's a hard thing to accept. Swallow hard. Besides the emotional pain of dual parenting, there's the financial pain, and that can be pretty harsh. But before I go any further, I'd like to ask you to subscribe or share this video. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's talk money. Kids are expensive. Shoes, sport fees, healthcare, books, all this adds up. I mean, the truth is grandparents didn't plan for a second round of parenting. And often they're dipping into their retirement savings, if they have retirement savings, to finance this. You might still be working. That's childcare. And childcare isn't cheap. You also might have aged parents that you're helping to support. So now you've got the double whammy. This is when it's important to research some resources to help you. Some states have kinship programs that can help. Enroll your grandchild in the free lunch program if you qualify. There are after-school activities that often will offer scholarships or a sliding scale based on it. And there are nonprofits that will help grandparents who are raising grandchildren. You don't have to do this on your own, but you have to be proactive and look into the resources available to you. Now, in the description below, I have put a few links to some resources that will help you. A surprise for many grandparents is that the legal paperwork matters more than they think. Many grandparents, probably you, find out that the legal paperwork is more important than you think it is. Even if you think this is only temporary, you need to get the paperwork taken care of. If you're not a legal guardian, then you'll find it difficult to enroll them in school, make medical decisions, do anything for them, basically, because you have no rights. And a lot of grandparents are shocked by that. You have no rights. It's all on your children. And paperwork can help you if your own child decides they're going to take the kids back before they're ready to. Then what happens is your grandchildren end up in an unstable, bad situation again, instead of in a loving, stable situation with you. That's a heartbreaker. In the links below, there are some, I believe some of them talk about free legal services. So check that out. And check out with your social services what legal services are available and how they can help you with custody or guardianship of your grandchild. Do the research. It's worth it. Besides the legal, making yourself a priority and acknowledging your limitations is imperative. It's just as important as taking care of your grands. You can't take care of anyone if you're running on fumes. And it's interesting that grandparents who are raising their grands have a higher incidence of depression and anxiety. You've got the world on your shoulders. No surprise there. Self-care isn't about bubble baths and candles. It's about getting the help you need. And that can be having friends or family watch the kids for the weekend to give you a break, join a support group, talk to a counselor, and set realistic expectations for yourself. You're not 20 or 30 anymore. Acknowledge that and make allowances for yourself. Give yourself a break. This is rerun time. It's not completely new to you, but it's new to you for someone your age. Give yourself a break. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. But besides all of this, let's relish in the happy moments too. It's not all doom and gloom. I mean, I can recall when I was going nuts. I had a really good career. I was busy. I had a life. And all of a sudden, I had this 3-year-old I had to pick up from daycare every day. It was hard. But then he'd come up to me, put his arms out and say hugs. And I'd be like, okay, this is worth it. We've given him a stable, happy home. You're doing the same thing. It's a priceless gift. If you're raising your grandkids, I want you to know you're not alone. You didn't fail at anything. All you've done is you've stepped up and done the right thing. If you've done this or you're in the middle of doing this now, share your story, no names, in the comments below. It would really help other grandparents in the same situation. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, like, and especially share with somebody who's going through this. Until next time, thanks for the chat.